Hello guys, welcome back to Coding Cafe. So in the previous video tutorial, as you remember that we have successfully created the settings activity and we have successfully designed the layout for our settings activity. Now in this video tutorial we will code for we will retrieve data basically from the Firebase database. The previous data, or you can say the data which a user enter during when he create his account for the first time, which is present inside the Firebase database. So basically here a user will change his profile picture, his profile status, and all these fields, which is username, profile name. We will basically allow him or her to update his account settings. So let's do it. So let's go to the settings activity, and first of all here we can say first let include our this toolbar. So first let's work on it. So here I can simply say private toolbar, and let's call it m toolbar, and inside the onCreate method here we can say m toolbar equals to toolbar find view by id or dot id dot, and the ID of our that toolbar is settings toolbar. So we can say settings underscore toolbar set support action bar m toolbar. Oh sorry, you have to this is support action bar, okay, this one, set support action bar. And you can see that we got an error here. It is because we import the false library. So let's change it here. Click here, and here you can see this android.widget.toolbar. All you need is to write here dot support dot v7, and that's it. You can see that the error has gone successfully. Now we can get that, so we can say get support action bar, and let's give it a title. So we can say dot set title, and the title will be, as this is our account setting, so let's call it account settings. And we also want to create a back button, or you can say a back arrow. So when a user click on that, then we will send the user to the home activity. So for that, first of all we can say get support action bar dot set display home as up enabled to true, and let's go to the manifest file. Click here, and here you can see this is our settings activity. So here we can say parent activity. We can set parent activity for that, and the parent activity for the settings activity will be the main activity. So this basically means that when a user click on that back button, or you can say that back arrow button, then we will send the user to the main activity. So in this way we do that. So now the next thing is to initialize the other fields which are our profile status, image, and the rest of these edit text field and the buttons. So let's do it. We can say here, or before doing that, let's first check our app for the toolbar, or you can say for the app bar, either it is working or not. So our app is running now successfully, and now let's come here and click on settings. Oh, we haven't set a click listener on the settings button, so let's do it first. So go to the main activity and come down here inside our main activity. Inside this user menu selector method, you can see that we have our nav settings. Okay, you can see that when a user click on that, we are just displaying this toast message. So now we are going to send the user, when a user click on this option, or you can say this button, then we are going to send the user to the setting activity. So let's first create a method here. So let's copy this one, and we will change it for the settings. So down below, here down below we can simply create a method which is send user to the settings activity. Send user to settings activity and change this to settings activity. That's it. And remove this and also remove this finish. So this is our send user to settings activity. Now we will simply call this method here in here, okay, settings. So now we basically send the user to the settings activity. Let's now test our app. So our app is running now successfully. Now let's come here, click on settings, and you can see that it is working fine, and the scroll view is also working fine. And this is our app bar, or you can say the tab bar. So when I click on this back button, you can see that it sends us to the main activity. So yeah, this is working fine. Now let's initialize the other fields. So then we will retrieve the user information inside this edit text fields, and then we will allow him to do some changes if he wants or she wants to their account settings. And then when he click on this update account settings button, then his account information will be updated. So let's do it. So now on our settings activity, let's first initialize the fields. So here we can say private. So first we have a username, and these are our edit text. So we can say edit text username. Second one is user profile name, so we can call it user prof name. Then we have a user status, user country, user gender, user relationship status, so let's call it user relation, and user date of birth, which is DOB, user DOB. Then we have a button, so let's create variable for that, and let's call it update account settings button. And then we have a circular image view for displaying the profile image, so we can say private circular image view, and let's call it user prof image, which basically means user profile image. And let's cast these buttons, this button, circular image view, and edit text inside this on create method. So here we can say user name equals to edit text, find view by ID, or dot ID dot, and the ID for it is settings username. Let's copy this code, this line of code, and we will change it for the other fields. So let's do it. So we have a username, then we have a prof name, which is the profile name, then the user status, then user country, user gender, and then user relation, and then user DOB, date of birth. And now then we have a button, change this edit text to button, and let's assign IDs to these fields. So this is our settings, let's check this one, update account settings button, this is the ID for this. And for the user prof, we have ID for it is settings profile full name, this is the ID for our profile name. And then for the status, we have settings status, and for the country we have settings country, and for the gender it is settings gender. Make sure to use the same I mean the unique ID's name correctly, unless if you duplicate any ID, or if you misplace, then maybe your app will crash with the because of that. So for the relation, it is relationship status, and for the DOB we have DOB settings. DOB, let's make sure that we have used the same, yes, the same IDs. That's it. And now the next thing is the circular image view. So we can say here, we can simply say the name of that is user prof image. So let's do that also, equals to circular image view, find view by ID r.id settings profile image. So first of all, let me tell you one thing, that is, whenever a user click on the account settings from this navigation options, whenever user click on that, then we will display his default data, or you can say his previous data here. And then when a user want to change his data, then he can do changes from here. So first let retrieve the data from the Firebase database, and we will display it here to the user. So for doing that, we will be needing a reference to our Firebase database. So let's create a reference here above. So here we can say private database reference, and let's call it as a settings user reference. We will be needing a Firebase auth, so let's initialize that also. Firebase auth, let's call it mauth. And now come down here inside this onCreate method, we can say mauth equals to Firebase auth.getInstance, and then we can say settings user ref, and let's create a reference to our users node to retrieve the user data. I mean, with the help of that, we will basically retrieve data. So you can say Firebase auth.getInstance.get, Firebase database.getInstance.get reference dot child, and the child is our users node. Let me show to you guys first, which is our this users node. Okay, I'm talking about this node, and inside this we have the users data. So let's do it. So we can say dot child users, and we are going to target that specific user which is online. That is, let's say I am now online by my own account. My name is Muhammad Ali, and this is my profile picture. So whenever I click on this settings button, then we are going to get the ID, the unique ID of my account. So with the help of that, we will retrieve all the information. Just we did in the previous video tutorials. So here we can simply create a variable, and this will be a string type variable. Let's call it current user ID, and then we can say current user ID equals to mauth dot get current user dot get UID. That's it. And now we are going to pass this variable here. So here we can say dot child, passed it ID here. So this is the reference to our users node and to that specific user who is online and who is going to do his account settings. So now we can say here settings user ref dot add value event listener, new value event listener, and make sure to put a semicolon here first. Then we will do the rest of the coding for retrieving data. So first of all, we need to add a condition here, that is data snapshot. If data snapshot dot exist, then we are going to retrieve the information. So the first one is our profile image, so we can say, let's call it my profile image equals to data snapshot dot child. And let's first check the name of the profile. I mean, what is the key name for the profile image? It is profile image. So make sure to use the same name which is inside the Firebase database. Dot get value dot toString. That's it. And let's copy this, and we will change it for the rest of data. So the next one is our username, so let's change this to user name, and then we have a user full name, so we can call it as user profile name. And then we have a relationship status, so let's call it my status. Okay, first let's retrieve the profile status. Then the date of birth, so we can say DOB, and then my country, then the gender, and then relationship status. So yeah, that's it. And now let's give the key values from our database. So for the username, it is username, so we can say username, and for the profile name, it is full name, so we can say full name. And for the status, let's first remove these values. For the profile status, it is it's only status, so we can say status. And for the date of birth, it is DOB, so we can say DOB. And for the country, it is country. And for the gender, it is gender. And for the relationship status, let's check it. It is relationship status in small letters, so we can say relationship status. Yeah, that's it. And now let's display all these things. But yeah, so for displaying the picture, we are going to use the Picasso library. As you know that we have already included the library for that. Let me show it to you again. You can see this is the Picasso library. And now let's do it. Picasso.with, and it needs the context. So the context is our settings activity dot this dot load, and we want to load the URL which is stored inside this variable, so we can pass that here. And in case of loading, we can add a placeholder, so we can say r.dribble.profile, and we want to display it, so we can say dot into, and we want to display it on our profile image, circular image view, so paste that here, user profile image. And then we can say username dot set text to my username. Let's copy paste this now for the time saving. So then we have a user profile name, and for the profile name we have my profile name, and then user status, and for that we have my profile status. Then user DOB, my DOB. Then we have a user country, and for that we have my country, user gender, and it is stored inside my gender, and the last one is our user relation to my relationship status. And let's run our app to see if it is working or not. So our app is running now successfully, and let's check it. So let's click on settings, and here we go. It successfully retrieved all the data. You can see that this is my profile picture, this is my status, which is header. I'm using poster social network developed by Coding Cafe. This is my username, which is LIZDB438. This is my name, which is Muhammad Ali, and this is the country, Silicon Valley, California, USA, and this is the, let me show to you guys this. Okay, this is basically the date of birth, the relationship status, and the gender, okay, which is not set now. I mean, this is the default values which we store during the profile creation. So now from here a user will basically set his date of birth. You can see that we leave a hint here, if you remember, and this is the gender, and this is the relationship status. So till now we have successfully retrieved the user information. You can say the user previous information which he entered or which she entered during the profile creation or during creating his or her new account. So now in the next video what we will do, that is, let's say I'm going to let's say if I want to change my username to something else like that or anything, then when the user click on update account settings, then we will update his account settings, or you can say we will update his profile new information. So yeah, that's it for this video, and if anyone is new to our channel, then please subscribe our channel, thumbs up for this video, and see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.